달콤한 설탕이 만든 비극과 상처는 오랜 세월이 흐른 지금까지도 선명히 남아 극복할 과제를 안겨주고 있습니다. 그렇다면 가장 큰 피해를 겪은 아프리카는 어떨까요? 아프리카 최남단에 위치한 남아프리카 공화국.
We support the sugary drinks tax. We choose water.
케이프타운의 한 마트 앞에서 청년들이 시위를 벌입니다.
We support the sugary drinks tax. We choose water.
바로 설탕 세금을 지지하는 시위입니다.
South Africa is one of the most obese countries in sub-Saharan Africa, and we have almost 70% of women who are obese or overweight. We also have increasing, statistics of childhood obesity. At the moment, we are sitting at 13%, but we've seen an increase within that number. And one of the reasons, according to scientists or researchers in South Africa, is that it's because of nutrition, especially the sugar content that we consume.
아프리카와 비만. 언뜻 보면 어울리지 않는 조합이지만 실제 아프리카에서는 비만인 사람들을 쉽게 볼 수 있습니다.
Yes, so your observation is true. As you said before, 10 years ago, the problems we had to do with infections. We talk of malaria, we talk of cholera, and other infectious diseases. But over the recent times, we are seeing more of lifestyle diseases like hypertension, diabetes, and problem with cholesterol, and obesity, like you have mentioned.
비만의 중요한 원인으로 지목되는 설탕. 한때 귀족의 전유물로 여겨질 만큼 값비쌌던 설탕의 가격도 더 이상 비싸지 않습니다.
And the problem is we eat too much now, far too much sugar, and it's causing a huge problem globally with obesity. I mean, it's ironic, that in Africa, in some countries, there's an enormous kind of problem with obesity, which is being caused by the fact that sugar is now so cheap.
Of NCDs or non-communicable diseases.
아프리카의 시민단체 힐라는 설탕이 가진 심각성을 시민들에게 알리기 위해 다양한 활동을 펼치고 있습니다.
How much sugar content do you think it's here? Don't exaggerate. How many teaspoons do you think are in each and every 500 ml maybe juice?
Maybe 10.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Ne? So you're saying it's 10 teaspoons. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15.
무심코 마시는 음료에 이렇게 많은 설탕이 들어있다는 사실에 적지 않은 충격을 받은 표정입니다. 실제 한 통계에 따르면 딸기우유에는 8개, 캔커피에는 9개, 에너지음료에는 13개, 콜라에는 17개가 넘는 각설탕이 들어있다고 합니다.
Free sugars or added sugar to the diet for children is between 40 to 60 grams per day, and for adolescents teenagers, it's about 100 grams a day. And if we, and for men, it's about 52 grams. And for females, it's between 30 and 50 grams per day. We know that WHO say that we should actually try to eat less than 10% of our energy from free sugars, and we are not in that range. South Africa is much higher. And that is part of the reason why we probably brought in the sugar fiscal tax.
더 이상 설탕 문제를 방관할 수 없다고 판단한 남아프리카 공화국 정부는 2018년 4월 1일 설탕세를 전격 도입했습니다.
Actually, it's not a sugar tax, it's a sugar sweetened beverages tax, so specifically on soft drinks which have sugar inside it. So not for sugar as a product, but just for the soft drinks, like Coca-Cola. This year, as part of trying to make those sugar soft drinks more expensive, to encourage us to drink healthier drinks, if the drink only has less than 4 grams of sugar, then it's not taxed. The tax is above 4 grams of sugar.
설탕이 함유된 음료에 도입된 세금은 설탕 1g당 2.29센트. 코카콜라 한 캔을 기준으로 약 71원 정도의 설탕세가 부과됩니다. (2018년 4월) 이 법이 통과되자 남아프리카 공화국은 논란에 휩싸였습니다. 이 법이 노동자의 실업을 증가시키지 않을까 하는 것이 논란의 초점이었습니다.
We've already lost about 15,000 jobs in the sugar farms in the last 15 years. And we've seen many jobs being lost because of a flood of cheap subsidized imports of sugar from other countries. So we're worried that if you add the tax on sugar drinks, it's going to cost us more jobs.
We started by doing like research around, what are the maybe chances of increasing job losses or any maybe negative effects of this sugar tax. We looked at the Mexico experience. So in Mexico, they have a 10% sugar tax, and we look at their experiences. So there were no job losses.
그런데 남아공의 설탕 시장을 자세히 들여다보면 실업이 증가하는 이유는 따로 있었습니다.
What also makes it difficult for us is that the sugar imports from Brazil come here, but then they're repackaged by a local company. So it confuses some of the retailers who think they're buying a locally produced sugar, but actually it's not. As consumer patterns change in the US or Europe, they're likely then to dump more sugar in Africa, where there's less of a change in consumer patterns. And I think the South African market will make it attractive because there's been a huge increase in the consumption of sugar drinks over the last 25 years in South Africa. So it will make us an attractive market to the US or Brazil or Europe, etc.
실제 아프리카에서 소비되는 설탕의 양은 갈수록 증가하고 있습니다. 남아프리카 공화국의 경우 지난 50년간 설탕 소비량은 꾸준히 증가 추세입니다. 가나의 경우도 다르지 않습니다. 2000년대를 넘어서며 폭발적으로 증가하고 있습니다. 아프리카에서 가장 가난한 나라 중 하나인 베냉. 이곳 역시 설탕 소비는 급속도로 증가하고 있습니다. 선진국의 설탕 기업에게 아프리카 시장은 가장 관심받는 시장이 되었습니다. 일상생활에서 무심코 섭취하는 값싼 설탕. 그 설탕이 아프리카인들의 건강을 위협하기에 이르렀습니다.
Yeah. With your family? Yeah.
판자로 얼기설기 엮은 허름한 집. 변변한 살림살이도 갖추지 못한 채 이 판자촌에 사는 흑인들 가운데는 아픈 이들이 많습니다.
Your mother is sick?
Yeah, last year, I think it was in August or July, my mom went through an operation. So she's diabetic, so she has sugar and asthma. But then they have to do a surgery.
Why she has diabetes? Maybe something about...
I don't know if hers is called like in the family line, in the bloodline or something like that, but mostly it has to do with how you eat and all that kind of stuff. So
Is she like sugar?
yeah, it's sugar.
비만과 성인병이 증가하는 것은 세계적 추세입니다. 하지만 건강한 먹거리가 사라지고 값싼 설탕 음식들이 점령한 이곳 아프리카에서는 그 위험에 무방비로 노출되어 있습니다.
It's a terrible irony. Their ancestors would have been working in the fields, probably dying very, very young from exhaustion and from cruelty and from injuries maybe in the workplace, whereas their ancestors were now dying from cardiovascular diseases and all the problems that you get from being overweight, excessively overweight. And there is a real irony that Africans are also getting the same problem.
대항해 시대, 폭압과 강요에 의해 노예의 길을 걸어 고향을 떠나야 했던 아프리카 흑인들. 그들이 겪었던 것은 설탕 생산의 식민지로 전락한 노예의 삶이었습니다. 온갖 부당한 노동과 잔혹한 핍박을 견디며 노예 해방을 맞은 지 300여 년. 그러나 지금 아프리카인들은 또다시 설탕 소비의 식민지가 돼가고 있는 건 아닐까요?
Yeah, no, it's a very good question you have asked. Why the reduction in the consumption of sugar in the West, whereas in Asia and in Africa, there's an increase. But for me, this question has already sent me to something I never thought about, that the issue or the legacy of slavery even continues to today. That it was the production of sugar that demanded slaves from Africa and Ghana to the Caribbean and then other parts of the world. Today, slavery is abolished, but then sugar is still important. You bring sugar back, and then you take back their money. Then you continue to sustain the economy. That's quite a very good observation. So, well, these are the thoughts I have about slavery and everything.